All right, welcome back to the Chirp Kings podcast. This is episode 3. We're going strong. Hey, we've gotten consistent on YouTube. To anybody who was trying to listen to the audio, apologies. I had some trouble with the feed. Episode 2 will be up on audio platforms tomorrow, and then episode 3 will go out on Thursday. Same as
when this goes out, it won't be tomorrow. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put episode out on Tuesday. So if you're watching this on Thursday, episode 2 is now available to listen to. And then episode 3 will be out on Thursday, and it'll continue rolling like that, if that makes sense.
So you Spotify and Apple Music listeners, you get a huge blessing this week. You get 2 episodes of Chirp Kings in the same week.
Exactly. Why am I talking about it like it's negative? That's a positive.
I know.
You get to listen to us twice.
You get probably about an hour 15 out of your week to listen to us.
I think the last one was 36 minutes.
I'm assuming this one will probably be
I'm going to be a little bit longer because we got college football, baby.
College
Look at it.
Football.
Repping them already. All right. My dogs take on Marshall this weekend.
And my Tigers take on another set of Tigers that I wish we weren't playing on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a tough opening week game, dude. We haven't, let's see, last year we didn't have a tough opening game. I don't remember who it was, but we might have went to that game.
I don't think that was week 1, but it was
early on.
Tennessee Tech, I think.
Something like that.
It was pretty early in the year. It was about 400 degrees outside.
It was so hot, dude.
And we were sitting on the side of the stadium that the
sun was on. I think we lasted 2 quarters.
Yeah.
By the time we pre-gamed and everything and got into the stadium, it was almost into the first quarter when we got to our seats. We watched the second quarter, halftime, grabbed a beverage, watched the third quarter, and then those guys sitting behind us were like, hey, y'all want to come back and play some beer die and play some pool? And we were like, yeah, it's hot. Let's go.
Not even a Georgia fan, so I was just there for the vibes.
Exactly. So, and it was great. The pool was fun. We played pool. We played some beer die. We had a good time. But yeah, so completely random. That was off topic. But college football is back. I got an easy week 1 game this week. We played Clemson and Oregon in those back-to-back years. That was stressful. But this year we got Marshall. I'm just excited to see what we got on the field. There's some positions like our wide receiver room. I'm ready to see Noah Thomas. I'm ready to see Zach Branch. I'm ready to hopefully see some of these young guys that we got that just came in, like Taylon Taylor, big physical wide receiver. I'm excited to see him hit the field. The other guy that came in with him in the class, his name's slipping me right now, but we got some young guys that are some dogs. Hopefully that O-line gels and meshes. We got a lot of young guys that are going to be, first-time starters on that, and we need our running game to be back this year. And then I'm ready to see Gunner, dude.
It's going to be interesting because he only played a few games last year.
1.5.
Yeah.
I came in.
Carson got hurt in the SEC championship.
So he comes in for 2 quarters, quarter and a half, takes us to victory, and then the Notre Dame game, which Notre Dame goes to the Natty, their defense was just insane last year, so it is what it is, but we need that running game this year, and I'm ready to just see what he has. I'm hoping, we're playing Marshall, bro, bombs over Baghdad, dude,
just run up the score and just see
let him air it out, and then the defense, dude, we got some dogs coming back, we got some guys that are going to be at the top of their position this year, like KJ Bolden, Kristen Miller, Dalen Everett. We got some guys. And we got some young guys too, like Elijah Griffin. I'm ready to see that. I'm ready to see that dude hit the field. They're talking next Jalen Carter, so I'm excited. But going over to some of the bigger games, like your game, there's going to be some talent all over that field, dude. That's an electric week 1 matchup.
I feel it's going to be a really good game. I'm not expecting either side to win by more than a possession.
Yeah, that would be my expectation.
Clemson's a 4-point favor right now, but if you're thinking, they're probably getting a couple points because they're the home team, so it's really a couple points, maybe a toss-up.
1.5 point spread.
And I'm just really excited to see if this is the year that we can put everything together.
The culmination of all the work.
Because this, on paper right now, this is the best team that we've had since we won the national championship.
Yeah.
Offense, defense, we got a decent kicker, so we got some special teams, but this is probably the best defense Brian Kelly's ever had at LSU. This is the best defense we've had since 2019.
He's got his guy at QB, a guy that's been there his entire tenure, I believe.
We've got a top 3 quarterback in the country in Nuss. We've got an electric running back room. We've got a lot of wide receiver transfers. I think we only have one really true guy returning from last year, Aaron Anderson. But we have Nick Anderson from Oklahoma, Barry Brown from Kentucky. We have another couple guys who I think can make a really big impact. We have Tradez Green at tight end, who's like 6'7".
Got some dogs at the tight end position.
A little worried about the O-line. We lost 4 starters. We have a lot of transfers coming in, but we just have to see if they've had enough time to really build some chemistry as a line, because if Nuss is running all over the place, it's probably not a good thing.
I still feel like the X factor for y'all this year is going to be defense. You will compete for an SEC championship if you have a top 40 defense in the country, in my opinion.
And on paper,
based
on what we have right now, there's no excuse for us to not have a top 30 defense. Honestly.
Top 40 with the points I think y'all can put up is going to put you in a position to compete for an SEC championship. If not the worst, make the playoffs is one of the lower seeds. So, but that defense, like, they've got to be able to hold. It's like, kind of like the Commanders last year, right? Like, Jaden constantly, like, the pressure is on to score every single possession, like when he was there 2 years ago. And it just at a certain point, like, when one side of the ball is constantly having to win the game, they're going to come up short a few times, and those are going to be the few games, like those Texas A&M games that y'all be losing for no reason. It's because, like, one side of the ball has finally given out. Like, they can't carry the load anymore, and the other side is unable to pick up the slack. So if the defense shows up, I mean, y'all are in a good position to run the table for the SEC, because y'all are probably you've got the most experience, I would say, out of any of those top squads in the SEC. Maybe Alabama, but the one thing you guys have over all these other schools is a second or a third-year starter. Second-year starter in Nuss.
Nuss is his second year.
Second-year starter in Nuss, who's been with the program for 4 years now. Like, he's been there. He's been the guy, like, sat behind Jaden. You've got Arch, who's going to be a true, well, not a true freshman, but
he started 2 games.
So, new starter. You got Ty Simpson for Bama. We've got Gunner at UGA, who's only got a game and a half under his belt.
Ole Miss has a brand new quarterback.
Ole Miss is a brand new quarterback. I don't think South Carolina is going to compete like people think they're going to compete this year. I think last year was their best opportunity kind of in this Lenora Sellers window. And then, like, Florida, like, I got some faith in DJ Lagway, but I don't have a ton of faith in Billy Napier. And
no, I'm not really worried
I don't
about
expect them to be a 9-10 win team competing for one of those bids from the SEC. So you guys definitely have that edge there. Unfortunately, you play Clemson week 1, who, in my opinion, should be the preseason number 1 team for a few reasons. You've got Cade Klubnik, who should be the Heisman favorite entering the season. He's got the most experience. He had a great season last year. You've got guys like Peter Woods on the defensive side who are day 1 picks before the season even starts. What's the kid in the middle, the linebacker?
It's TJ Woods or
TJ Parker.
TJ Parker.
But then you got the young guy, Sammy Brown.
I don't know anything about him.
Sammy Brown's a stud. It was like the number 2 linebacker in the country coming out of high school in 24, I believe. So they got guys on defense. They've got a loaded wide receiver room. They're going to be well coached. They always are. I don't care what people say about Dabo. They're going to be well coached. So with all of that, I thought they should have been preseason number 1.
Right now, the thing I'm most worried about is the fact that it's a true road game. If this was like a neutral site game, I'm taking us. I mean, I'm so biased, so I have to say that.
You're going to take you regardless, but
I would feel twice as good about our chances
if this was like a Mercedes-Benz game.
Yeah, if this was a neutral site game, but the only way you can beat a team like that in their stadium is just try and build some momentum, make a couple stops. Like,
you got to get it. You got to get going early.
Yeah,
you got to get going early. But I think it'll be a lower scoring game. I don't think this is going to be a 42-35 week 1 game. I'm looking somewhere in like the 27-24, 24-17 type of range.
If we put up 25-30, I think we should win.
You should, but putting up 30 against that defense in I say Death Valley. And so
in the fake Death Valley.
In Death Valley is going to be tough.
I know.
30 points week 1 against that defense is going to be tough.
We still have to remember last year, it took them a last-second miracle, 50-yard kickoff return to beat SMU in that ACC championship. If it's not for that, they might lose the ACC championship.
That's true.
They had a couple close calls with some other teams last year, so this team isn't like Goliath and we're down here
No, not at all. I just think they have the most experience.
Yes.
And experience going into week 1 plus the fact that they're getting the home game that's a big factor.
Yeah,
in my opinion, in week 1. Since we're already talking about college football, we might as well go ahead and we'll go through some of our predictions. I don't want to get too analytical. That's not who we are, but
if you're looking for a data-driven podcast,
not us.
Hit pause right now and back out.
Yeah, go ahead and go somewhere else because that is not going to be us. But I would like to pick our conference winners.
Okay.
That's all I want to do. We're not going to predict the entire playoff. Conference winners, national championship winner. Let's start in the SEC. We're going to have 2 different answers here because I think where you're going to go and you know where I'm going to go. Obviously, I'm going Georgia.
Okay.
I got to go with my Dogs. That was probably the worst team in terms of performance on the field that Kirby Smart has had since he's been there, and we still won the SEC chip. So until I have a reason to, I'm not going to doubt my Dogs. We got some young guys, but I think this is supposed to be the most talented wide receiver room we've had since A.J. Green, which is saying a lot because that's over a decade.
Yeah.
Right? So should be a squad there. Nate Frazier is going to be a dog at running back this year. The defense, I think, is going to be that stellar unit again, like a squad, 2021, squad. And then I think Gunner is going to prove some people wrong this year, and we've got the best coach in college football. So I'm taking us to win the SEC.
I really want to take us because I think this is our best shot since the Natty year. But I'm gonna be a little chalk. I'm gonna take Texas.
Okay.
I think Arch is gonna be good. I don't think he has to be out of this world elite with the team that they have.
That's a good point.
I think their defense is really good. I think we can make the SEC championship, but I don't know if we're gonna beat Texas.
Okay.
I could definitely see us going 11-1 or 10-2 and making that spot.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I can't pick us to beat Texas. So I'm gonna pick.
I like that you took your bias out of the pick. That's a real ball pick. My bias definitely played into my pick, but I also think we have a slightly better chance to win the SEC than y'all do.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm being truthful, it would probably go Texas, us, and y'all and Alabama should be tied in odds. In my opinion.
If we make a run this year, it'll be similar to that run we had then.
I think you have to beat Alabama this year.
Obviously. I mean, other than Bama, I'm not really super concerned with any other SEC opponent on our schedule.
Yeah.
I think our next toughest one would probably be either Florida because we play them early, South Carolina because that was a close game last year, or...
You playing Ole Miss this year?
We're playing Ole Miss, but I am really not worried at all about
I'll
that
be interested
because
because that'll really kind of tell me what we should expect the next 5 years under Lane Kiffin.
Well, they lost Dart.
Yeah.
Their starting quarterback. They lost their number 1 wide receiver in Trey Harris. And they lost their running back room.
Quinshawn
transferred, but they had a Ulysses Bentley guy last year who went to the draft. They lost pretty much everything on that offense. So
that's why I think it'll tell me a lot about what people can expect from Ole Miss because the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Texases, even the y'alls of the world, reload every year, right? And they're always competitive and they always have some stars. Ole Miss seems to kind of come in waves. They'll have a really good team and then they'll kind of be
and then once some of those,
a step above Florida.
Once some of those guys kind of file out, you could see them being 8-4, 9-3.
Exactly. So that'll really tell me a lot about where they're at. But all right, so the SEC. Let's go Big 12 because I think this one's going to be
Big 12
real interesting. I'm going to take Arizona State again.
I'm on the same page with you. We're just going to make that one quick that we have the same pick.
Sam Levitt, Kenny Dillingham, they got the culture. Big 12, a lot of carnage.
There's just not really anybody else that I see even competing with them.
Maybe Iowa State again after that win against K-State in week 0 this past weekend.
But I know the conditions were kind of bad, but they really got to clean a lot of stuff up.
But you see that a lot out of these like second and third tier teams in week 1. Like I feel like that's the difference a lot of times between like these tier 1, like these upper echelon programs and a just outside of like competing for a natty type of program like an Iowa State is the sloppiness, especially in the early weeks. Like that's where they take themselves out of contention a lot, is being so sloppy and losing to some of these teams they shouldn't in the early stages. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, Utah, always well coached.
I'm
but
super scared of Utah this year.
A Texas Tech could be interesting this year.
We just have to see if that NIL money has really translated to anything on the field.
Is the money experiment going to work?
And I really couldn't even tell you who their coach is. So, I mean,
I don't know.
This Texas Tech head coach is going to have to put on a display for himself as well.
But I think I was listening to Josh Pate the other day, and that's kind of what he was saying, and I was kind of already had like the same thought process. But I like the way he put it. He's like, is this money experiment going to work? Like, Texas Tech is basically going to show everyone in college football this year whether you can just buy a roster and put it on the field and get good results, or whether you still are going to have to rely on relationships, recruiting, development. Like, we're going to see. But I don't see them. I think it's going to be a failed experiment.
I think they'll probably go 8-4.
The only
they
team
got a weak conference.
Yeah.
So
8-4. I like that. 7-5. Mm-hmm. But I think, the only team we've seen that can buy a championship in any sport in the last 2 decades is the Dodgers with Shohei.
Ohio State a little bit last year.
Yeah, but people still like guys like Jack Sawyer had been there. Mm-hmm. Guys like Travion Henderson had been there. A lot of their D-line had been there. A lot of their O-line had been there. Jeremiah Smith recruited there, right? Like, sure, you had some impact players come in, like Quinshon Judkins, for example, Caleb Downs from Alabama. But outside of that, like, I like to hate on Ohio State. I think everybody does, but they weren't as much of a bought team, I think, as a lot of people are making it out to be. Mm-hmm. Whereas like Texas Tech is like,
that's just straight out of the ATM.
Money, players, expect results. Like, that's kind of the model that they're looking at right now. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm just ASU. Feels like the easy pick there.
Let's go Arizona State.
We'll save the Big Ten for last.
Okay.
So let's go ACC.
Give me Clemson.
I'm going to take Clemson.
Even if we beat them week 1, they're probably going to go 11-1.
The only comp I really see them having this year in the ACC is Miami.
I don't know if they play Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech's been a sneaky team on some people's radar this year.
They're going to be sneaky. I could see them having like a 9-3 season, but I don't see them in the ACC champ. 8-4, 9-3, and I think a lot of fans would be happy about that kind of season for GT, like heading in the right direction. I'm not super confident in Carson Beck in Miami coming. That's coming from a Georgia fan, so it's got to be taken with a grain of salt. But they lost a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. They're not the best well-coached team, the most well-coached team in my opinion, with Mario Cristobal. And I don't think Beck can replicate what Cam Ward did last year.
And even if Clemson slips up and drops a game in the ACC that they're not supposed to, they're not going to lose enough to miss the ACC championship.
I don't think so.
And they're winning the ACC championship.
Yeah, like I said, Miami's defense would have to take a massive step this year for them to be truly competitive again.
It would have to be like some sleeper team like SMU who came in last year and almost beat them.
I think they'll be good again. They got Kevin Jennings back, who I think will take a step, but he's very like
we saw in the Penn State game, like he can have games where
he's not consistent yet, and it's because of his style of play. He's a scrambler. So if he can take that next step, I think they'll be up there in that conversation. I think it'll be either them or Miami facing Clemson in the ACC championship, but I got Clemson winning. A kind of a sleeper team on my radar for the ACC, not necessarily to like compete, but I think a team that can surprise the people this year, Syracuse.
Syracuse.
I really like Fran Brown.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember the quarterback they have now, but
I can't either.
he got a good year out of Kyle McCord last year.
Like an unbelievable year out of McCord.
Unbelievable year out of McCord. They picked up some wide receiver talent. They're going to have a good wide receiver room for the kind of school that they are. And I just like the culture. I'm a big culture guy. I think they got a really good culture, brewing up there in New York. So I think they could be a 7-5, 8-4 kind of surprise some people team. Not a competitor. Don't get that twisted. I don't think they're going to go win the ACC championship and shock the world, but I think they could be kind of surprising this year.
If I'm going to take a team, I'm going to take a team kind of on that level as well, but I'm going to take North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm really, really interested to see what Bill is going to turn, or what Bill has turned that program into, because ever since he's been hired, we're not getting a lot of information about like what preseason camp is looking like how he's running the team and the organization.
We're getting updates about his dating life.
Yeah. So we're getting pictures of his girl wearing 28-3 jackets and rings, and we're not.
You had to go there. You could have said a whole lot of other stuff. You had to go there.
I know I did, but ever since he's been hired, we're not getting a whole lot about what this organization is looking like, and it's gonna be an NFL style program. So I'm interested to see if that's really going to translate at this level and how he's going to be able to coach this team. But it's the best coach in the world. So he could squeeze 9 wins out of that team.
He could in the ACC. I don't know what their schedule's looking like, I don't think it's the toughest. I mean, they're going to play Clemson. I could see that team if they're really well coached and Bill's getting the most out of them. Like, I think he can. Like, I could see them beating like a Miami in the regular season if they come across them. It's one of those games Miami should win and they don't. So they could be an interesting team. I do like that pick. Moving over to the Big Ten, which much like the SEC is top heavy, right? So like obviously we know our 2 main contenders, Oregon, Ohio State. Penn State is right there, right below.
I like Penn State as a potential contender this year.
Okay, I'm not against that at all. Is that going to be your pick for the Big Ten?
It's really hard to pick against Ohio State.
Okay.
Ohio State has maybe the bigger question mark in Julian Sayin, but Jeremiah Smith is going to make him look good. Jeremiah Smith made Will Howard look really good last year.
They also got Brandon Ennis this year, who's I think going to be that Egbuka to Jeremiah Smith, like that clear-cut number 2, like could be a day 1 pick type of wide receiver.
I don't know what their running back room is looking like, but
they're going to have some dogs.
Like I said, Jeremiah Smith made Will Howard look like a fringe Heisman contender. Julian Sayin, I think, has like twice as much talent as Will Howard did. So just with him, they're going to be able to move the ball on offense.
Yeah.
And that defense is still going to be
a stellar unit.
A Midwest kind of hard-nosed defense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick Ohio State, but it wouldn't surprise me if Drew Aller maybe got over that hump this year and James Franklin could finally put some respect on his own name. I don't like Oregon. I don't like Oregon this year.
Okay.
Dan Lanning's a great coach, but I don't know if they're going to have the pieces to put it together this year.
Especially like Trey McNutt is out for the year, which I know he wasn't going to be like day 1 starter, but they were already talking about him being a key rotational piece in that defense on the back end. So I'm a little worried about them. I'm between. I'm not taking Ohio State personally. I think Julian Sayin being a first-year guy, like he's going to go through some growing pains. I think it's just going to be hard to in the Big Ten to come right back, win the Big Ten championship, go on another run, win a natty. Like a back-to-back natty in today's college football world, I feel like is going to be like the hardest thing to do in sports with all the talent dispersed everywhere. I like Oregon because of the culture and the things that I've read about Dante Moore. I think he's going to be a stud. Like, I think he's going to be a baller. Like, could be a first-year starter, like Heisman contender this year. But I think the most complete team, the team that has the most to prove, the team that I think finally kind of got over that hurdle a little bit last year and now can see the light at the end of the tunnel is Penn State, and that's going to be my Big Ten pick. They still have a ton of talent on that defensive side of the ball. They churn out defensive ends and linebackers like nobody else in the country besides Georgia. I think James Franklin finally got like that taste of like winning the big game, and I think he'll be able, now having that experience, he can implement that and help them get over the hump in some really tight, high leverage games. I think Drew Aller still doesn't have to be like that guy, but I think he takes another step towards that. They've got a much better wide receiver room than they've had in years past. They have the best running back duo in the country. And I just think all of that combined, all the experience, especially Drew Aller, having that experience over Julian Sand and Dante Moore is going to finally get Penn State over that hump. And they don't have the hardest schedule.
No, they got to play Ohio State every year. Michigan's going to be a sneaky team this year.
They just named Bryce Underwood starter,
which is he's going to
not
be good.
Surprising. He's going to be good, but again,
unproven.
True freshman on still not the most talented roster.
Right.
They still got some holes.
See, if I'm a Penn State fan, I am in the exact same shoes as I am as an LSU fan. I feel like the two teams have pretty much the exact same situations this year. Just for LSU, as an LSU fan, we got to play some defense. We have to make stops and let Nuss and all these playmakers we got on offense run free, like not feel all that pressure.
Yeah.
It's the opposite for Penn State. They're going to have a good defense.
They got to put up points.
They have to move the ball.
Yeah.
But going into Saturday, I feel like LSU and Penn State are right there next to each other. Like, really great team on paper. They got an opportunity this year to take that hump.
But they got to prove it.
And Brian Kelly and James Franklin, two kind of notorious coaches in recent years for not really being able to take that next step and win a big game that they need to make a statement. So
I think those are the two show me teams this year in college football.
At least in the top, at least in terms of
top 15,
national,
top 20.
At least in terms of
like national coverage.
Title/playoff contenders.
Yeah.
It's the two teams with the most to prove.
Yeah. No, I agree. If we're going national championship, I mean, it's so hard to predict with where the talent's at these days. If Penn State wins the Big Ten, and I think they have a really good shot, I'm going to take them to go all the way and be in the national championship. Other than that, and obviously we don't have a bracket laid out, I think Notre Dame is another sneaky contender this year. They're going to have some pieces back on defense. They got Jeremiah Love back, which was huge for them on the offensive side of the ball.
It's just going to come down to that quarterback room because their starter.
We got a lot of those questions across the league, so go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I never heard of this guy before, CJ Carr.
Yeah, I don't know much about their quarterback situation right now, but they've got some guys around the field, and look what Freeman was able to do with Riley Leonard last year. Mm-hmm. He took Riley Leonard to the national championship.
It's the thing about college is in the NFL, if you don't have a good quarterback, you will not be good. In college, you can kind of get by with like a day 3 NFL pick,
and just the right scheme, which I think they were really good at. That's another thing scheme wise. Another reason, real quick, why I think Penn State is going to be so good this year. They got Jim Knowles from Ohio State,
the defensive
coordinator, and so
that's going to be really
that
big.
Defense, which was already a top 10 unit in college football, is just going to elevate even another step this year. So I'm going to have Penn State in the Natty, and then you could go Texas. Even if they don't win the Big Ten, you could go Ohio State. You can't completely forget about Oregon. Alabama could slide in there, but I'm going to go Penn State, Georgia.
Okay.
I think if we win the SEC this year, I don't think we can win the SEC like scraping and clawing and like gritty like we did last year. I think there's too much talent in the SEC for us to pull one out that. So if we win the SEC like I think we can, I feel like it'll be with a much more polished unit that's on a good roll. And if we're on that roll entering the postseason, I don't see then really any teams beating us.
Because when you guys went back-to-back, like, they weren't the greatest teams on paper.
The first year, no.
The second year with that defense that only gave up like 10 points a game, then yes.
Yeah, that was a 22 team.
Yes.
When we played TCU.
Yes.
Yeah, that team for sure. But the first year was more felt coaching. Like it was a culmination of development and coaching and all those things. And I think we can do that again this year. And if we do, kind of where you were going, like he can out-scheme people. He can out-coach people to wins in the playoffs. So I'm going to go Georgia and Penn State, and I'm going to be a homer. I have to be.
Of course you are.
I'm going to take the dogs.
I should have seen this coming.
I'm going to take the dogs. I tried to be as unbiased as I could in other leagues, but come on, I'm a homer. It's not like I'm like a Kansas State fan sitting on this podcast saying that Kansas State is going to make a run and go. Like, we have real natty aspirations. So I'm going to go with my dogs.
For me, right now, there's too much variability for me to set in stone a couple teams.
I think that's why I just went with what I did, you know?
So personally, I don't know about natty appearance because there's 12 teams in the playoff. Like, who knows what could happen?
Yeah.
But championship, I'm going to take either Clemson or whoever wins the SEC.
Okay.
Clemson, as we've been saying, dominant-looking team on paper right now. This Saturday will show me a lot.
Yeah.
I'm either going to be real depressed next week but feeling good about this pick, or, we'll maybe have some questions.
You could still feel good about the pick and LSU wins.
Yes.
Both could be true.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that pick.
They're going to have an easy road to the playoff, making it through the SEC, and then they're probably going to have an easy first-round matchup if they win. If they get a bye, they probably won't face a great team.
True.
And then on the other side, whoever wins the SEC, it's usually always a good pick. You're running through the gauntlet and then winning the SEC championship.
Battle-tested.
So whether it be Texas, whether it be LSU, Georgia, Alabama, those are really the only 4 teams that I can see winning it.
Yeah.
But
those teams are going to have to be on a roll to win the SEC.
Yeah. You're not just going to
waltz into the SEC champ.
You're not just going to go 10-2, maybe lose a game in November that you shouldn't, and then surprise a lot of people and win the SEC championship.
That's not how the SEC works.
So out of those 4 teams, it's either going to be Clemson or whoever wins out of those 4 teams.
Okay. I like that. If I'm not taking Penn State and Georgia, I could see Clemson making it. I could see Texas making it. And I could see, kind of sleeper, I could see Alabama being a really strong squad this year.
It's just going to come down to how Ty Simpson plays.
Yeah, but the talent everywhere else is there.
Is good.
They've got a good linebacker room again, which when you watch an Alabama defense, when they have a stout linebacker room, that's when the defense plays the best.
I could see them either being pretty dominant this year, like you just brought up, or
another disappointing year.
Or another year like last year. Like last year, they had a good team. I don't think a lot has changed from this year into this year from last year.
Not a ton.
New quarterback. Personally, I don't think he's going to be as good as Milroe. Like, Milroe was a great college quarterback.
I think I agree with what I've heard, that he's going to be a better true quarterback in the sense of, like, protecting the football, not putting it in harm's way as much, not making so many, like, crazy, like, trying to be the hero type of plays. Like, he's going to be more of, like, a safe quarterback. And that might be all they need.
We'll have to see how the rest of the team plays, but yeah, those are our college football national championship picks. We don't really have any playoff picks right now. That'll come a lot later in the year once we start to get an idea of.
I'd like to do a selection show this year.
Okay.
Like right before, like the week before the CFP does their selection show.
Kind of just like put out our own projection.
Yeah. Like we put out, because that would be before rivalry week. We'd have to do it before. It'd be that Thursday right before. But I feel like it would be fun to go ahead and like predict the winners of rivalry week and then our playoff picks based on that.
Yeah, I think we can do that. So we'll do that
December, November, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It's somewhere back there, but I think that would be fun this year. Hard to get like some true picks, right? Like it's hard to really like with all the talent.
We could pick from 15 teams today and just pick one of them out of a hat and
have a chance. So that's kind of our breakdown on college football. We're super excited for this Saturday. I am so hype. Lee Corso, final game day. I'm not even kidding when I say I might shed a tear.
I might as well.
And I think a lot of grown men around the country are going to shed a tear.
Because I know everybody on set is going to be.
Oh, Kirk is. I might cry. I might cry with Kirk, like just because I know he's going to be like so emotional. Like I'm already like getting emotional thinking about it. Like damn, like it's a piece of a lot of our childhoods, right? Like a guy we all grew up every Saturday. Like you didn't have school, right? Like you wake up Saturday morning, and you're like, I want to watch College Game Day, and you're watching Corso make the headgear picks. Like he is College Game Day, so that's gonna be a tough moment.
Where's Game Day at this weekend? Oh, it's at.
I
think it's at.
Just Texas, Ohio State.
Is it?
Yeah, because a lot of people were hoping they did FSU, Bama, because his alma mater. But you also wanted to make the show as big as possible for his final one. And what bigger game to go out on than the 1 versus 2 to open up the season?
Are we sure it's not at Clemson? Because I don't know if they do that because Big noon kickoff is probably going to be at Ohio State because that game's at noon. Real quick, I'm going to see where that's at because I'm interested to see maybe if you like.
I'm used to having both of our phones set up over there, so when you went to pull your phone, I'm like, what is he doing? What is he reaching for? I swear it's Texas, Ohio State. Could be wrong. A little bit of radio silence here as he tries to find
it is going to Ohio State.
I told you.
Okay. So I wonder where Big Noon Kickoff is going. Probably some trash game that nobody's going to watch.
Probably like Michigan's week 1 game. Something like that. I don't really know if there's any other like real staple Big Ten matchups.
Not really. I think Texas is going to go in there and win too.
I think it's going to be an amazing game. I don't know who's going to come out. I really don't have a pick.
What better way to start the college football season than 1 versus 3?
Is it 1 versus 3? Is Penn State 2?
I think so.
Okay. Still 1 versus 3, right? Like hasn't happened in, I think they said like decades. Like it's been years. So I'm excited for that matchup. I'm going to be on the couch somewhere with a cold one at like 9 a.m. And it is going to be.
We're getting started
early. College football will be on all day long. Going to get it on up at the pool. Going to eat some wings and do all the things. And so I'm super excited. And it's just back. There's no better time of the year. No better time of the year.
I've been waiting for this for a long, long time.
It's kind of a cool, crisp day outside, too, today. Sun's beaming down, so it's starting to get a little warm.
I think the weather's supposed to be really nice on Saturday, too.
We're starting to approach that fall weather here in Georgia.
Dude, don't get me started.
Oh, man, the leaves are about to start changing, and it's a good day to be alive.
On Saturday, high of 82, low of 63.
That's a day right there.
Oh, my God.
That's a day.
Dude.
That might have to be my good look of the week.
Is that going to be your good look?
I'm going to do a 2-parter.
Okay.
All right. So if you're new to the show this week, our good look of the week is, it can be anything, right? It can be something that happened to you that you're super excited about. It could be something that someone else did. You're like, oh man, that was a good look.
It could be something that you did.
It could be something that you did. I like that one. I didn't think about that yet. I don't know if I want to shout myself out. Give myself that love, but
sometimes if you have like a good deed that you did during the week or something, like
good point. Okay,
like if you helped a lady cross the street or something, like that's a great look.
Good pull there. Good, I like that. That was good. All right, so 2-parter this week. My first good look is going to be college football being back. There's no better time of the year than the football season. Not only is college football back, we got the NFL starting up next week, and I have a lot to look forward to as a Falcons fan this year. So. Football season being back is my first good look of the week. Like mental health gets better or worse depending on the week and who your team played.
It's probably going to get a little worse for me, but we'll see. Maybe
it happens. But just the vibes, dude. The aura.
The vibes are
it's
so
an aura
good.
Farm, right? Like football season is aura farming, and I just couldn't be more excited. My second good look of the week is I got a new job.
Hell yeah. W new job.
And that, to me, like, getting out of a spot you weren't enjoying and getting into a new spot that you know you're going to enjoy and you're going to look forward to going to work every day and just better vibes.
Sometimes all it takes is just a change of scenery.
Yeah, and I'm super excited for that. So that is another good look of the week. And, yeah, those are going to be my 2 good looks of the week.
I'm just going to piggyback a little bit on football. Like, I don't really need to say much else about it. We've already been talking. My main good look of the week is fantasy football and my most recent fantasy football draft.
He's really proud of this one, guys. So drop a comment below and let us know what you think of Lance's squad. We went over mine a little bit last week, and we might go back here and kind of go back and forth. We do have a league that we're going to play in together. That draft is coming up this Sunday. So we might recap that a little bit going into week 1 next week. But let's hear it. Let's hear the squad real quick.
So I have
just run through I don't want to hear your bench. Run through the starters.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
That's not necessary.
I don't think the people at home want to hear the bench.
But I had the number 1 pick, and I'm just going to go down by position. So my quarterback is Baker.
Okay.
My 2 running backs are Josh Jacobs and James Conner.
All right.
2 wide receivers. I mean, this is one of the best receivers I've seen. Jamar and Brian Thomas.
I do like it. You got a PPR machine, and actually you got 2 PPR machines. You got 2 just reception magnets.
Tight end, I got George Kittle.
Okay.
Really great option now that Debo's gone. Ayuk is hurt.
He might be wide receiver / tight end 1 for the first few weeks in San Fran.
And then I have David Montgomery in my flex. That might be something that kind of changes. I have a few really big upside guys on my bench, so that might be changing over the weeks. Not doing my defense because it's just going to be a plug and play for me.
Okay.
But I have the number 1 kicker from last year in Chris Boswell.
Okay, I like that.
So, looking like a pretty good team.
I like it. It's a solid squad. Wide receiver room loaded. Running back room, the word I would give for that is hyphenated, not deep.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that was a strong voice crack. Because I know what your bench looks like. I like your 2 picks. Josh Jacobs, James Conner, 2 really solid running backs. But if they go down, if one happens to go down, it's going to be tough sledding for you at the running back position. Quarterback position, explosive, which I like.
Baker was quarterback 4 in fantasy last year, and I got him in the 6th round. So.
Explosive. They picked up Egbuka, which I think is going to be just another weapon.
I don't think the offense is going to take any hits from last year with Godwin being out right now. I think Egbuka is going to kind of fall into that Godwin
slot
role.
Yeah.
And they're just going to be moving like how they were last year. And he's got Bucky Irving.
I like that pick. I think the George Kittle pick was very underrated. I took Trey McBride this year, PPR machine. I wish I would have thought a little bit more about George Kittle, though, because you made a good point. He literally is going to be the option, at least for the first few weeks. You'll have Jawan Jennings, you'll have Ricky Pearsall, but you know how Kyle Shanahan likes to scheme around his star players. So the schemes are going to be tailored, I feel like, especially the first couple weeks to CMC and to George Kittle, and then Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall will kind of funnel in and fill the gaps. So I like that pick. It's a solid pick. Boswell, Steelers are going to kick a lot of field goals.
Aaron Rodgers is not going to get in the end zone a lot, but I just need him to get to the 35.
They're going to kick a lot of field goals. That was a good pick. That was a good look of the week. I don't really have any negatives this week. I don't really think there's...
No, it's been a pretty solid week.
Pretty solid week.
When you have a week where there's not really a whole lot to complain about, you had a pretty decent week.
Yeah, you had a pretty solid week, and I'll take a solid week any day that I can freaking get it, because we need them.
Yep.
So hopefully you guys had a solid week out there. If you didn't have a solid week last week, let's make it a solid week this week. We are recording on Monday, so we're just getting the week started. This is a great start to the week. We're going to hammer it. Hopefully you guys do too. When you hear this on Thursday, use it as a little bit of motivation to finish. Get through Friday, right? Finish strong on Friday, so that on Saturday you can be that degenerate on the couch that watches college football from 9 a.m. till the last game ends around midnight. We hope you enjoy week 1. Hopefully you're sweating out some bets like we will be. Hopefully you're sweating over your team like we will be. This week it's go Dogs. It's go Tigers.
GAUX. We're not rooting for Clemson.
Yeah, my bad.
All good.
My bad.
It's gonna be confusing all week. Tigers against the Tigers.
That's a tough look, man. I don't know if I'll recover from that today.
But next week, when you guys watch this pod, I'm going to be in some purple and gold because we just got a week 1 dub for the first time in 6 years.
I'm going to be repping the red and black. If we lose to Marshall, I can't watch the rest of the season. I know a dub's coming my way, so I'm in a good spot. We will see you guys next week where we dive into the NFL more, give you guys probably our division winner picks.
A little bit of a recap over week 1 of college football.
Conference champions picks. and just talk a little bit more ball. Yeah, hopefully you guys have a good week. We will see you next week. This has been episode 3. Peace.